Oh, greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Fix My Garbage. Now today, I need to tackle that broken bolt there. I'll talk a little bit about that and the options that are available to me. I need to go down to the part store and see if I can get myself a new motor mount, because that one is chowdered. I'll replace that, and I'll show you how to remove the oil filter adapter. It's been soaking in gas. That thing was completely submerged last night. That's how much gas is evaporated out of that thing. It was all the way over that. So probably, what do I got here? Ounces? Is that 12 ounces now? I had 20 ounces in it. That's what happens when you have ethanol in your fuel. Let's talk about the options available to me for removing this stud. So an extreme option is to remove the head. That is a day job in and of itself. I don't want to remove the head. These two holes right here are the ones that are the biggest pain in the asses to get to. If it was any of these other ones, it'd be really simple to get that broken stud out, because I can get a drill in here. I can't get a drill in here. There's just not enough room. And I don't want to spend $150 or whatever it's going to cost to get a 90-degree drill. And I don't have the time to wait for Amazon to get me one from China, or a cheap Chinesium one. I could take, like, my Dremel tool, like I mentioned yesterday. I could take my Dremel tool and those little wafer cutoff wheels, and I could cut a slot right through the block and everything, and into that broken stud, so I can get a screwdriver on it and maybe get it out that way. I have a crack point now in my engine block, or in my head anyway. And I really don't want to remove cast iron material from my block, especially there. Another option would be to take a nut, and this is what I was thinking about doing yesterday. Let me show you here. So yesterday I took this nut here and I put a pretty steep bevel on it, and I was going to put this over the hole like so, and get my welder in here and try to weld. Stick that in there and try to build up some weld on, get it hot enough to weld to the broken stud, and then build that up and weld it right to the nut, and then use a wrench and pull it out. The problem with that is the likelihood of me boogering the threads up pretty high. I was fixing to do that last night. I was getting ready to get the cords out and get the welder out here, and I thought, you know what, I need to step away from this for a moment and start thinking outside the box. How can I get my drill in there? This is what I come up with. So I went online and I looked, and sure enough, I had one of these little 90-degree attachments at Home Depot. I'll put a link in the description here if you want. This probably be a good addition to your cordless kit. But this is actually impact rated, so you can use this on your nut driver. You notice it doesn't have a chuck on it, but you can buy a chuck that has that 5/16 hex. It'll fit on there. It's like $25. This was about 18 bucks, something like that. And then to use this with drill bits, I bought these cheap Ryobi drill bits that have the hex head on them. Oh, and it's magnetic. Awesome. So I figured I probably can get this in there. Let's see. Oh, would you look at that? This might work. The trick is going to be keeping this drill bit centered, because I'm likely going to have to go up. This is an 1/8 inch drill bit, and I think the next size up is 3/16, and the next size up from that is 1/4. Let's see if I have an extractor. Here's my small one that got broken. Here's my big one. That one got broken too. Optimally, I'd be using a left-handed drill bit, but Home Depot doesn't have any left-handed drill bits. And even if they did, they likely don't have any left-handed drill bits that have this hex on the end. I'm probably going to have to get some extractors. But a lot of times if you drill them out with if you drill the broken part of the bolt out with a left-handed drill bit. The drill bit will catch and it'll actually pull the bolt out. I don't think that's likely going to happen on an exhaust bolt. I'm going to try this, and if this doesn't work, this may turn into an all-day job. If this doesn't work, then I'm likely going to have to pull the head to drill that out. Either that or just leave it. That's an option too. So the question is, do I want to stick the time into it? Is it worth it? And I think it is. So let's go see if I can get this thing to work. Stepping up to 3/16. I'm gonna wander around here for the next 20-30 minutes looking for my fucking penetrating oil. You don't need to see me doing that. It's a freaking sign of senility right there. I tell you what. When I do find my penetrating oil, I'm gonna squirt some penetrating oil in there. I think I'm all the way through the bolt right now, but I don't want to go up any further than 3/16. And I have 2 broken extractors here that ain't worth a tinker's damn anyway. So I'm gonna run down to the part store. I need to get a motor mount anyway, so I'll get a motor mount while I'm there and some extractors, and then we'll come back and dink with it some more. All right, I'm gonna hold off right now, going to the store, because I'm gonna kill 3 birds with 1 stone. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for my secret sauce to work in that hole, I'm gonna pull that motor mount out, loosen this bolt, got the engine supported with the jack with a block of wood under the oil pan. And there's a bolt here, and then there's another one, a nut down here underneath there. Okay, motor mount's out. While I'm here, let me show you what you need to do to take off that that oil filter adapter. So most engines, the oil filter, like a V8 engine, for example, the oil filter comes out the side. Let's look at the Mopar 318 here for comparison. You notice it comes out the side here, and a Chevy it would come out next to the oil pan just vertically. This is fine because there's plenty of room. The frame rails over here, there's plenty of room in here for you to get the oil filter out and back in, and there won't be any interference with the chassis. However, if the oil filter were to come straight out, if it was screwed directly into the block, it would make contact with the unibody of the truck. So the engineers in their infinite wisdom designed this 90-degree offset. So this bolt here, let me take it out. This bolt threads into the block. If you notice, it's got a hole bored in it here. It intersects with this hole that's bored through both ways. That allows oil to pass from the filter back into the engine or vice versa. There's 3 O-rings in this whole setup. There's an O-ring that goes here up against the block. There's 2 O-rings here. And if any one of those O-rings fail, well, if this O-ring fails, you could lose oil pressure. At least you could lose oil pressure to the filter. If this O-ring fails or this O-ring fails, you'll have a leak and you'll have oil on the ground, and that's what's happening. This O-ring here has failed and it's leaking at this point here where it makes contact with the block. So to get this thing off, you need to pull this bolt, and it probably requires a tool that most y'all don't have. Quite frankly, it's a tool that I've had in my possession for 5 years, but I've never needed to use it until yesterday, and I couldn't even use it the way it was designed. And it was a Harbor Freight, it's part of a Harbor Freight Allen socket set. This particular one is 9/16. And I just took my punch, put this over my vise, and beat this out of it because there's not enough room to get this up and a ratchet to get onto this. So if you're going to do this, this is probably going to be covered in oil. First thing you need to do is squirt some penetrating oil up in here and get this cleaned out so it will accept that. And then all I did was take a 9/16 wrench. In my case, it was a ratchet wrench. Took my ratchet wrench on there and just spun it off. Now, you could go down to Harbor Freight if you have one close to you, or Napa. You're going to pay, to just get one 9/16 Allen socket. It's probably going to cost you $15 or $20 plus the gasoline to get you there. There's a different way, and you can improvise. Let me show you what I was going to do if I couldn't find one of these. I didn't even realize I had this. So what you need is a 3/8 nut and bolt. If you have a welder, super. If you don't, get a punch and just beat the hell out of this end here so that the nut can't come off the bolt. And then you can just take your bolt in there and use your jammed bolt. Let me do that right quick. Ow. So I just took and buggered the ends of that thread up. And now I can put the head of that bolt right in there, and as that nut goes over that buggered up part, it's going to get jammed. You can take it off. If you have a welder, I just throw a tack on there, and most y'all got a 3/8 bolt and nut laying around. And if you don't, these are a lot cheaper than this. But in this case, it's a 9/16 Allen. Now, before you go and put this on, make sure you put a little dab of oil and lubricate that seal. And then you gotta hold this in place as you tighten this down. I don't know what the torque spec is. If I think about it and look it up, I'll post the torque spec somewhere in this window right here. But go ahead and replace the O-rings, and then use your new tool that you just made to reinstall it. It's as simple as that. But it is on the passenger side of the engine, and if you do this job, make sure you wear clothes that you don't care about getting dirty, because that side of the engine is probably going to be slathered in black, sooty, dirty, nasty oil. Both mine are. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll go to the parts store. There it is, back in its home. And at this point in time, you would start your engine and inspect for leaks. I'm gonna have to wait on that because reasons. I think I'm gonna eat me some lunch, and then we'll go to the parts store.
Moments later.
All right, so I'm back from the parts store. They got some different types of the screw extractors, and I got a new motor mount. Yeah, that's how they're supposed to look. Not like that. Which one do you think is better? Yahtzee. Oh, I did make it all the way through that fastener. Awesome. Alright, finally. I tell you what, if that freaking thing didn't come out, I'm gonna leave it in there and just say screw it. So I am happy that I got that little piece of stud out. I'll put a link in the description to a set of those easy outs or screw extractors, whatever you want to call them. And those ones work a lot better than the straight cut ones. I think I threw them away. Oh, here's one. These ones here, garbage. Don't waste your time. Get in the bucket. These kind much gooder. The advantage of these is as you left hand turn these, they want to dig deeper and deeper into the piece, but you still got to drill a hole. Oh, it fell out. Look at that. That's so nice. How convenient. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the intake manifold. I got to let this thing dry out anyway. I just kind of hosed it down. Get a lot of the big heavy goo off it. I'm going to blow this thing off and throw it back on. Next time we visit the 93, it'll be after a trip to Pick Apart, where I get the rest of the parts to put this thing together. Well, I need to make a decision pretty soon whether I'm going to keep this one or get rid of it. But what do you think I should ask for it? Think $2,000's too much? Comment in the comment section. So at this time, I cordially invite you to click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And then if you do, click the little bell icon that's right next to it so that YouTube will notify you the next time I upload a video. Because if you don't click the button, they won't notify you. Just the way it works, I guess. Click the like button, hammer it to death if you like this video and this series, and share it with all of your social media. That helps the channel a lot. I appreciate it if you can do that. And again, check the links in the description for the products that I use on these projects and the gear to make the videos. If none of that garbage is of any interest to you, that's okay. I would consider it a personal favor, however, if you're going to shop on Amazon anyway, to go through one of those links to get whatever it is you do want. That way the channel can earn a little bit of commission, offset some of the costs of the stupidity. And if you can afford to do that, super, thanks. Thanks in advance. You're awesome. And if you can't afford to do that, that's okay too. Enjoy the content regardless. It just means we're probably related. You're awesome too, by the way. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep the powder dry, and have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.